Guess who's got a package? Guess who's got a package? Guess who's got a package? Wonder who it's from. Well, we already know it's actually from Office Depot. But, I mean, you guys can possibly guess what this is, but let's find out, shall we? With our handy dandy scissors. Yes, indeed. Oh, wow, this opened up fast, better than I expected. Dun, 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 dun. The first printed out manuscript of Sprint Dreams. Yep, this is actually after the first round of professional editing that I've done. For me, the 3 rounds of editing is, the first one is developmental editing. That looks at the big plot, the manuscript overall. Does the plot make sense? Are the characters consistent? Is the beginning good? Is the ending good? Is there enough tension? Is there enough conflict? Is the conflict clear? All of those general big questions about the overall storyline. That's in developmental, or other people call it substantive editing. The second one is line editing or copy editing. Copy editing is after you've looked at the overall plot and you're fine with the overall plot. Now you have to look at the sentences, the paragraphs, the wording. Does it make sense? Is it consistent? And does it keep the reader engaged? And the third round is proofreading. Proofreading is the final round. That is after you've been through the manuscript, you've looked at the plot, you've looked at the wording, you've looked at does the story make sense? Do the words get the readers engaged? Proofreading is pretty much that last look over, to look at any repetitive words, to look at any punctuation problems, to look at any typos, things of that nature. That's proofreading. So there's your 3. What I just did for this wonderful masterpiece, this is after the first round of developmental editing. Editors, professional editors, they are trained to look at storylines and how they should be formed and what to look for in terms of typos. So having an editor on your side, very important. It's that second set of eyes that you need, that you don't have because you've gone over your manuscript or your writing work so many times that you pretty much have it memorized and you're going to miss some details. And I found my editor through one particular site called ACES. I don't know if it stands for anything, but I'll have the link for it down below. And it's pretty much just a directory of people who do different types of editing. So that's how I found her. But there's also another site that I looked at, which is EFA, Editors Freelancing Association. I'll have the link down below. I tried. That's another site that's a great directory if you're looking for editors. So what were some things that I was looking for when I decided to choose this particular editor? Well, after working with my beta readers who were all within my target audience, I decided to branch very far out to see just how mainstream that my book can be. So I branched out to somebody who, although was in that young adult, new adult age range in terms of the books that she worked with, her books were much more focused on white protagonists. Yeah, the books that were under her name were white protagonists. The storylines were not sports focused at all. Even the covers look very, very different from the covers that that my book has. Developmental editing can be anywhere from hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars. So it really depends on who you want to work with. What I found that this editor was reasonably priced, fit within my budget, so I was very happy for this first round with her. And what else was there? Also, this was sort of like a kill two birds with one stone. She's actually an agent as well. So I got to see not only a perspective of somebody who isn't in my genre or necessarily in my direct target audience, but I got to see how an agent would view my work in detail. Because typically agents don't, if they do reject your work, they're not going to give a full explanation why. But that's another video that you can look forward to. Yeah, so going back to the edits, after she took her digital big red pen to the manuscript, in the end she actually left more comments. This isn't even the manuscript. This is all comments on pretty much every aspect of the book, from the beginning to the plot progression, consequences, stories about manipulation, the social issues that I added into the book, which there are a good amount, so that's gonna be exciting, and even suggestions moving forward. She really looked in depth into the manuscript, and I'm so happy for that. So just so you guys get an idea of just some of the comments that she made, here's just a couple of the things that she talked about in her extensive feedback for my manuscript. So in the beginning, she actually shared some of the same views that my test readers did, which is a huge eye-opener for me. So she writes that she wasn't sure that the opening was very strong and was very engaging. So actually I did make some major changes to the beginning of the novel, so I'll make an announcement on that, so stay tuned for that, which is why I need you guys to make sure you subscribe on my website and make sure you guys follow me on social media so you can see some of these changes. What else is there? She talks about the social issues in the ending, but I don't want to ruin that for you guys. But some of the consequences is that she felt like the character didn't grow. Big issue, because the character does change from the beginning of the story to the end. But there's also, her change is different from other stories. While a lot of stories start where this is pretty cool, chill character who goes through things and becomes maybe better that way, Makeda's progression is sort of like a U, kind of. So she starts great, things get bad, but then things get good again. And that's what I wanted to show, is yes, things get bad, but there is an upside. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for those changes as well, because there is an upside. And I want you guys to see what that upside is. And then I mentioned manipulation in the story because relationships play a big role in the story. And she actually liked that, so I'm really happy for that. That's one of those moments where the editor gives you that thumbs up and you really should take that to heart. And then she wanted the ending to be more impactful, so the ending is completely different from the original manuscript, which is what I said in the first video. So if you haven't seen the first video, that link is down below too. Or honestly, just go on my YouTube channel, it's there, part 1. In short, this is a big thank you to my developmental editor. I'm so glad to have worked with her, because after making those changes, keeping the things that I truly felt were necessary, but also making those changes that she suggested, my manuscript is so much better and just a step closer to that next round of editing. And just a step closer to being ready for all of you readers out there for 2020. So be as excited as I am, because this is a lot of work, but it's so worth it. And I will keep you posted on how I wrote Sprint Dreams. Bye.